Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, all my fine aviation enthusiast friends. Welcome back to the airplane show. I'm going to try something tonight. I have never tried this before. I'm going to try streaming Aerofly. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm mirroring my image from my iPad to OBS. We're going to see if it works. If it works, it's awesome. If not, well, then we know it just doesn't work. So here is the flight we're going to do. So Delta Flight 2812. This flight is from October. Well, the one I did was from October. Let me show you. The one I chose was from yesterday, because the flight for today wasn't done when I started preparing for this, when I was putting it together in Navigraph and in Aerofly. So here's the flight. Salt Lake City to Sacramento, about an hour and 40 of travel time from gate to gate. My slow ass laptop would work, I'd be able to scroll down and show you some stuff. But this thing is just taking its sweet time. I got an old man laptop. I got a boomer laptop. All right, so looks like it flew up to about 36,000 feet, I guess. Yeah, 36,000 feet. Down here is the route that it flew. We can't fly this. We can't fly this in Aerofly because Aerofly doesn't have these standard instrument departure. It doesn't have Deserter 2. It doesn't have Slammer either. It has something very close to both. And I was able to pretty much recreate this whole Deserter route. Let me show you. So, all right, so this is the route that it flew. It left from runway 16. So what I do is I actually like zoom all the way in. I do this for every flight that I do that I base off of a real flight. I always zoom all the way in, and I see what runway it left from and what runway it. So you can see it took off and went this way, so we know that it left 16 left, right? So it left 16 left. It did a standard instrument departure. It flew over BAM, hit LLC, did this Deserter 2, and did an RNAV Z landing, which we're going to try to do tonight. I don't know how it's going to work that well on Aerofly because that FMS system is not as user-friendly as Microsoft Simulator. But we can see it looks like it landed here, which is 35 left. So, and in Aerofly, it's actually 34 left. You'll see that momentarily. So that's what that's the route that it flew. So in a Navigraph, if we goes to Navigraph, so here we go, Delta Flight 2812. Okay, so here is the departure, right? Here's the departure that it flew in real life. So I didn't choose any waypoints here when I built this, but Tipton I was able to put in, PCOP I was able to put in. Now I chose it off of the main screen, off of the map. I haven't tried to input it into the FMC yet, so I don't know if that's going to work. Antmo is not available, so I picked something very close to Antmo. And from Aerofly, I forget exactly what I chose. I think it's OGLAA or something like that. All right, OG, let's see here. Let's do IFR low because it doesn't really have, Aerofly doesn't really use high waypoints. All right, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more here. There's an Olga low not too far from here. It's around here somewhere because I tried to use this VOR here I think it's BQU, but the frequencies were all wrong with Aerofly compared to what it's showing in real life. So, but anyways, I chose a waypoint around here that's showing in Aerofly, and then we'll pick up BAM. This slammer, we have something very close to this in Aerofly. I think it's called like Faulkner or something like that. And then we're going to try to do this RNAV approach. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if I can adjust the RNP. So we'll see. I don't know. I've never tried this type of landing in Aerofly. I've always just flown it in, like an ILS landing, or I just, did my best to do what I could. So let's make sure. Okay, Aerofly is still showing. That's very good. Let's make sure it's actually full screen. All right, it's full screen. Hopefully the sound will come through on it when I'm actually doing stuff. So let's bring up the screen again. All right, now, you know what? Let me put give me a second. Let me put my light on so I can see what I'm doing here, because I need to read the notes that I took down with the time that it left and all that. I can see. Yay! All right, so let's try to build this chompy. See what we can do. Let's try to build this bitch and see what we can do. Hopefully the sound comes over. All right, so we got to choose the aircraft first. So let's choose the aircraft, even though I already did this, but it didn't save it. All right, so we got this. Click. We got our location. It didn't even save the location either. What the hell? KSLC. We will choose that because that's the only starting location where you can do a cold and dark start. And let's go to conditions. We'll go to time, and it left at 2140 UTC. So that's 5 hours ahead of Utah's time. So we'll leave it about a half an hour before it left the gate. Maybe that'll be enough time for us. I did write down the METAR information from yesterday so I can plug in the correct barometric pressure and all that, even though it doesn't make too much of a difference in Aerofly because it doesn't, there's no atmospheric component to it. So, all right, let's click. Now, this iPad has shut off quite a few times with the screen share, so I don't know how this is going to work. So we will see. And hopefully there will be sound. I tested it. It looked like there was going to be sound. So I certainly hope there is, because I would very much like for this to work. All right. So we got this here. Let's okay, there's here. Battery 1, battery 2, external power. All right. Looks like we're getting some audio. I'm looking at the audio mixer in OBS. It looks like there's some audio working there. All right, let's set our navigations. I haven't flown an A320 in a while. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. All right, we got that. Let's put our beacon lights on. Okay. All right. KSLC to KSMF. Oh, you know what? Let me open up this docking in case somebody is going to chat. So if anybody's actually watching this, let me know how the volume is between my voice and the airplane and all that. I'm not able to really monitor it, so if anybody's watching this, just let me know. Like, give me a thumbs up or tell me it sounds like shit or the balance is okay. All right, so we got DAL2812. Cost index makes no difference because it's always going to be 20. It's always going to be 20, regardless of what you put there. It's always gonna be 20. All right, let's do our route. So go to flight plan. We're gonna go up to KSLC. We're gonna choose departure. We're gonna choose runway 16 left for 16 left. And we are doing the SLC2 departure. All right, insert. There we go. And now we are going to insert in Tipton TIP, TN. And we're going to do Peacock. Roscoe Peacock. Roscoe Peacock. All right. Harvey Peacar. All right, Peacock. Then we're going to do Olga. See if it takes this one, even though I got it from Aerofly. I'll be damned. It actually worked. All right, then we got BAM. 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 And then LLC. And then we can enter in the arrival, the approach. So you have both of these Sacramentos down here. Choose the one in white. That's how you can get to the arrival. All right, so we are going to be doing the RNAV Z 34 left. And yeah, the flunk 3 is what we're going to be doing. All right, and let's click the clear button. Clear. Let's get rid of this discontinuity. And let's click flight plan. And let's go up to this. You can enter your own info up here if you want to, but it's always going to default for, like, it's always going to put this info in. Like, you can change it, and then if you go like to hit enter, it's gonna change it back. So there's really no point to putting in all this info. It's just gonna do it automatically. Flaps 1500. I think this will take, yeah, format error. Okay, I'll do flaps 1. Flex to temp, we're just going to put in 58. That's probably close to what it would be in real life. I believe it's supposed to be like 30 degrees higher than the outside air temperature. All right, uplink to data, confirm data. All right, that's all set. All right, so we got performance, next phase. climb, cruise. I like to be able to plug in the altitude I'd like to fly to. Let's see what it put in here for our altitude. Yeah, it didn't really put anything in. Alright, let's go to program, pre-flight. Oh, cruise. Okay, here we go. Cruise is 36,000 feet. So let's type in 360 and see if that takes. There we go. Now let's go back to our flight plan, and there we go. Our flight plan is now showing. So what I like to do is go up here, click on this, bring this over to plan, and bring this out 20, 40 miles, you know, really whatever you want to do with that, you know. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's whatever you wants to do. All right, let's go to flight plan and let's step through this and see if it works. Ah, it works now. Didn't work for a long time. Yep, there's our RNAV approach. All right, we are good. So that's all set. I think that's everything on here, actually. There's really nothing else to mess around with in here. IRS, yeah, that's already initialized. I'm used to playing the Microsoft Simulator for so long now that I kind of forgot some of the stuff in here. I think we're good. Performance, we got all that. We got the next phase program. Okay. All right, we're good. So that's done. Let's turn on our APU. So where's the aft fuel pump here? 1 and 2, 1 and 2, center tank, auto. We'll just do that one. Maybe that's the right one in real life. Who knows? Oh, we got to put our seatbelts on. Yep, and we got to click Master APU. Start. So you know what? Let me stream this on my TV real quick and see how it sounds. And click this button here. Games and apps. Let's go to the YouTubes. The tubes. All right, what's the APU doing down here? It's working. The APU is working. Hello? Alright. Flap open. APU is working. Let's go up there and turn on the bleed. Now that that's on, we can turn off the external power. Let's turn on these pumps. Let's turn on the nav lights. And now, let's fire up some engines. belts, TCAS, EPU, weather, parking brake. Oh, is cargo open? Hang on a second. Are my doors open outside? They are open. I must have hit those buttons by accident. To close them, just click on them. They should close. Alright, let's fire up engine number 1. That, turn that. Now let's get rid of that weather icon. Click on that button there. And then click on this and just turn it all the way as far as you can clockwise. That'll get rid of the TCAS message. Alright, engines are firing up. Engines are firing up. Yes, sir. We're getting ready to put this bird in the air. Alright, and it was 2988 was the barometric pressure. We're going to set that there. This is in the wrong format. I don't think I can change it. Yep, I can't change it. Alright, what is it in so 1012? Alright, that's all good. Let's do our flaps. Let's go outside, make sure everything works. Set our first altitude real quick. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do gear. Where's gears? Where's my gears? Wheel. Alright. So we got 6,600 and then 30,000. Yeah, that's okay. Alright. We'll set this for, I guess, for 30,000 feet. Adjust that as we get closer. Well, you know, let's do 8,000 for now. That's a bit more realistic, I would think. Alright, so that's all good. We can turn off the APU bleed now. We can turn off the master. We can put on the logo lights. Put on some wing lights. Put on the taxi light, and I guess there's no sense of putting the runway lights on right now. And let's switch this back to arc and do constraints. I always feel constraints is like the best one to choose. Now, I haven't done this simulator in weeks, so if I forget something, try not to hold me to it. I kind of forget some things. So, all right, let's try takeoff configuration. So auto brake set to max. We need to arm the spoilers, and then we can push test. Take on normal, we are good to go. here. And let's release the parking brake. Let's make our way over to 16. Hopefully I don't get lost. I think I know where it is. Hopefully I don't get lost. Yes, sir. Alright. Is it really important to follow these lines? I have no idea where the lines are that I'm supposed to be following, by the way. I know I need to get on the other side of the airport, that much I know. Let's see what the oh, airplane looks so lonely all by itself. Skirt. You see me drifting in that A320? Who else you know can be drifting in the A320? Just me. Just Captain Greg. Just a Captain Greg. It's pretty out here in Utah with all the mountains and stuff. That's pretty cool. I know this is probably not how they get over to this runway in real life, but to be honest, I didn't take the time to learn the taxi routes. I decided to do this last minute after work. I took a shower and I was like, you know what, let me do a flight. I haven't done Aerofly in a while. It's been a couple of weeks. And I never tried streaming it, so I wanted to try it because streaming from the Xbox is real simple now that I figured it out, but Aerofly I can't play on the Xbox or the PlayStation. So I'm using my just a regular iPad I have. I think it's from 2019 or 2020. Just a regular iPad, nothing special. Oh yeah, so if you do use a joystick, like I'm using my PlayStation controller, if you do wind up using your controller, you can turn the aircraft on the ground by using the right and left triggers. That controls the rudder. And if you were to push both triggers down together, that actually puts the brakes on the airplane. So I didn't know that for the longest time. Probably weeks. Weeks of using a controller. Like when I first started doing it a year ago, it took me weeks to figure that out. Hey, look, a livery and a plane that we will never have in Aerofly. I hate when they do this shit. Why put these planes in here if we can't use them? Look at this. Not only do we have an American livery that we'll never have, look at that, an old silver livery. Look at this FedEx plane. Look at Aerofly teasing us. Bastards. That's probably some sort of Douglas, like DC-7 or something like that. Look at that thing. How come we can't have nice toys? It's like we're on the island of misfit Aerofly players. Aerofly always doing us dirty. Bunch of dirty ass bitches, Aerofly. Doing us dirty all the time. That's why my voice sounds like this sometimes. I be yelling at Aerofly all the time. Goddamn you, Aerofly. Why can't we have nice toys? Why do we have the same planes every single year with the exact same routes to fly and the exact same liveries and the exact same buttons to push? How come we can't have anything new? outside of the Black Hawk helicopter, which does not work on my iPad, outside of the immediate San Diego area. Outside the San Diego area, my Black Hawk helicopter, I get into it and the simulator crashes. So, no bueno with the Black Hawk. Yeah, how come we can't have like Spirit Airlines livery or Southwest or Ryanair? You know what I mean? Or Wizz. How come we can't fly anywhere in India or Asia or Australia? How come we don't have an A350 or an A330 or a new Boeing 737? Those got these tired old A320s. Tired. So tired. It's terrible. Just terrible. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if I wind up crashing this plane tonight, because you know it's an RNAV landing, and I've never tried it in Aerofly. That's gonna be bad. That would be bad if it was real life. Thankfully, it's a simulator. Flying an ILS landing in these Airbuses is easy. You just frequency, course, autopilot 1 and 2, and the airplane lands itself. Alright, we're getting close to the spot where we needs to turn. I guess we could put the rest of our lights on. So let's put our strobe lights on. That light, that light, that light, that light, and that light. And now all of our lights is on. Now, the last few videos I made in Aerofly, I did like these outside views, like 3 or 4 different views from the outside of the plane taking off. I don't think I'm going to do that tonight. I think I'm just going to stay in the cockpit and take off, because the last couple of times I did that, it was really tough to switch back in and get to the landing gear and get to the autopilot. I don't know, maybe I will. Just sometimes it can be pretty difficult to switch and not, like, you know, crash the airplane. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll try it, I guess. What's the worst that could happen? Alright, let's line on up. See, the hard part with this airplane in particular is getting the throttle to the right spot, because you have to put it in the right spot for the autopilot to kick on. Well, you know, I guess we can try it. Why not? What the hell? You ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Alright, let's push up on the D-pad so we can take off. We is off. Alright, let's put our parking brake away. Alright. Manual toga, let's wait for it to say thrust. There we go. That's the right notch right there. There we go. So when you get into the, when you take off, you got to make sure you get it into this CL here. Otherwise, it's not going to automatically climb. All right, let's. Oh no, I turned off the wrong button. Oops. All right, there we go. Now the flaps are up. I was pushing the button to put the flaps up like I was still in Microsoft. Well, that's a cool view. Boy, this thing's really banking hard. I hope the autopilot stays on. Jesus. That's a hell of a bank. Alright, looks like we're doing okay. Alright, so far so good. Turn off some of these lights. Thrust climb, we're climbing good, we're doing all right. Let's switch this display here to, I guess we'll just do status. Everything is normal. All right, things are looking good. Things are looking good. I don't know if I'm going to let the, I don't know if I'm going to fast forward this or not yet. You guys have seen my videos. You've seen how, like, well, hopefully you've seen it. Hopefully you've seen my videos. But I usually fast forward the videos. When I am climbing, I'll usually like stop the climb and then like kind of transition into descent. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. We'll see how it goes. I might just leave this flight on its own. It really depends on the fuel, because these things drink fuel, these planes in Aerofly. Still say APU. APU should be off. Maybe that's just showing where the APU gets its juice from. We got a decent amount of fuel. Maybe we'll be okay. Who knows? All right, we can set our barometer to standard here momentarily. you guys are checking this video out, you know, before you leave and check out another video, please leave a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment, click the notification bell, subscribe to my channel. That's right. So you can get more of this amazing content. This is like the best content you've ever seen, right? It's like super interesting and like it's awesome, right? It's the best ever. Alright, we got standard now. Should be standard on... Nope. Doesn't do it on both sides. Pull that knob out and we're good there. And we might as well change it on here too, just to play nice. Alright, we can disarm the spoilers. That probably should have been done a long time ago. We is cruising. Cruising to Sacramento. Part of the reason I want to fast forward this flight is because I'm nervous that the software I'm using to screen share my iPad, where it's going to conk out. It took me about 10 minutes to get Aerofly to actually show up on my laptop tonight so I can stream this. Alright, things is looking good. So cool that whatever this area is, and are these the salt flats? If somebody knows what this is, let me know. I don't know. I could probably look it up myself. I don't wonder if that's like if these are the salt flats. Obviously not the mountain range, obviously, but like this part down here that looks like sand. I wonder if those are the salt flats over in Salt Lake City. Well, not Salt Lake, in Utah. Let's turn off the seatbelt sound. We'll just put it on auto for now. Get them rowdy passengers back there. Quiet them bitches down. .2 is that, and LLC is 116.5. 116.5. Alright, so those are all set. I don't know if I can do a fix. Let me see if I can do a fix. See if it'll let me do runway like it does in Microsoft. Let's see if I can do runway 27. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay, so we'll just do KSMF. Huh. Oh, am I typing it in wrong? KSMF? No, I got... Oh, yeah. Duh. Alright. No wonder it doesn't show up. Got to type it in correct. Greg. Yeah, Greg. Alright, there we go. And I usually do 2 fixes, like one at 4 miles and one at 10 miles. I guess we'll do a 10-mile radius. That way, that'll be like flaps 2 probably. Flaps 1, flaps 2. Format error, really? Oh yeah, that's right. It's a little different than Microsoft. All right, so that. There we go. I don't know if I can do a second one. Let's see. Let's see if we can put a second one. So let's try 4 miles. Alright, maybe it'll work. I don't know. We'll see. Our course for the landing is going to be 348, I believe. Yep, 348. 348 is our course. And if we go back to the fix info, the radial is the opposite of the course. So if it's 348, subtract 200 from that is 148, add 20, so it'd be 168. So let's put in 168. From the 168 radial, because the opposite of that should be 348 course. Radials go away from the VORs and away from the starting point. Radials radiate away. Courses is going towards. So we'll see. All right, let's type in 168 here as well, just in case one fix doesn't show up for some reason. All right, my friends, I think we are good. We're getting to our cruising altitude. We got plenty of fuel left, and we don't really have that far to fly, so I guess we'll leave things how they are and see how it plays out. I really don't want to fast forward this flight unless I have to. I really don't want to go in and like reprogram all the fix information. And, I guess it's not that big of a deal, but let's see how it goes. I've only been on for 48 minutes, so it's not past my bedtime yet. So forward operating base, 6,400 kilograms, 1,180 kilograms, 600. Well, we'll see. If fuel gets too low, I'll have to fast forward. For now, it's okay. Unless somebody's watching and wants to see me fast forward it. Fast forwarding also refuels your fuel tanks too. So if you're running low on fuel, just these might be the soft spots. If you're running low on fuel, just go ahead and go to the location menu. From the main menu, go to location and just put the airplane where you want it. And when you start up again, you will be all full with fuel. Making our turn towards Peacock. Is that Peacock we're turning toward? Yep, turning towards Peacock. All right. Yep. Oh, did that really turn down the volume? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize turning the volume down on my iPad will actually turn the volume down on the screen share too. I thought it just takes the internal audio from Aerofly like it does when I'm doing a screen record. That's interesting. Alright, we got 397 miles. Maybe I will fast forward this a bit. Yeah, let's do that. So I think that's going to take probably another 40 minutes to get to the destination. Not that, I mean, like 40 minutes probably until we descend. Because we're not going to descend until like maybe 150 miles out. The elevation of the runway is only 27 feet, so we're going to be going down the whole way. So you have 36 times 3, so that's 90 plus 18 is 108, and maybe like another 20 miles for wind. So yeah, you probably descend somewhere around 130 miles out, I would think. Especially since, you know, the approach that we're doing today doesn't leave a lot of room for error. I mean, it's like you cross the airport, you make a big U-turn, and at the bottom of that U-turn, you're supposed to be at like, you know, like 1,100 feet. Like you're supposed to be like pretty much right on it, so you can just keep on gliding down at a 3-degree angle. 3-degree angle. Yes, sir. Alright, let me see if I can figure out where I'm supposed to, where I'm going to be declining at. So, Olga. So, no, bam. I really don't know. Alright, well, let's do this. I don't know. Should I leave it? Should I go? I mean, the mileage is going down pretty quickly. Maybe we'll just leave it for a little bit and just look at the scenery. I've never really let one of these flights go. Usually I'm always fast forwarding because. But maybe we'll just sit and look at the pretty Aerofly scenery. I guess this is what it looks like in real life. I don't know. I've never flown over this part of I guess we're over Utah right now, I would think. I don't know if we cross over part of Nevada. I think we cross over part of Nevada to get to yeah, that would make sense. Utah. So I don't know if we're over Nevada yet or not. Oh, if you hear something, by the way, being picked up by my microphone, it sounds like a dead animal. It's my son. He's I think he's playing Yakuza, I think, but he's online with some of his friends, but sometimes he sounds like a dead animal when he's playing. So if you hear something that sounds like a dying cat, like a dying cow, that's it. Alright, well, let me turn the stream off on the Xbox here. I was using that to monitor my sound, but let me put on. I was watching Game of Thrones. Let me put that back on. I was watching the first, like, 5 seasons again, because I think after season 5, well, season 5 was pretty shitty, in my opinion, but, like, it was tolerable, but season 6 and season 7 were just, ugh. But I'm on season 2, episode 9 right now, where Cersei and Sansa are talking when they're being, when King's Landing is being attacked by Stannis Baratheon. and Sansa's listening to Cersei saying, "It's expected of me," and these hens will welcome home their cocks back home. And she's such an awesome character, Cersei. I mean, she's a hoe, but she's a hoe in the show. But this woman, I forget her name, Lena Headey, I think her name is. I know she was in 300, but yeah, she did a phenomenal job. I mean, pretty much every character in the show, I think, did a really good job. Especially Theon after he gets changed into Reek. Man, Reek, like, that was some good ass acting with all the shaking and the mumbling and being scared and shit. Man, that was some. I mean, I'm not an actor, so I don't know if it was good or not, but it looked good to me. That's crazy how there's like perfect circles, right? You see that a lot when you fly over this part of the country. There's perfect circles. It's like UFO landing pads. I do like Aerofly a lot. Like, in some ways, I like it a lot more than Microsoft Flight Simulator in some ways. In a lot of ways, actually, I like it better than Microsoft Flight Simulator. I just wish that Aerofly would step their game up a little bit for mobile and bring some new stuff. It's the same maps, same airports, same airplanes. Like, they haven't really introduced anything new. There's no, like, heads-up display in some of the planes. Like, there's no weather. There's no, like, live traffic. The FMS is still, like, just... Like, it shouldn't be defaulted. You should be able to put in your own info. Now, maybe it's different on PC. I don't know. I don't have a strong enough PC to play these kind of games, but... Yeah, but this episode I'm watching right now, so they already did the wildfire, and now Stannis is like rowing the boats. His soldiers are rowing the boats on the shore. Man, some of the battle scenes in this show, awesome. King Joffrey's such a bitch. Really, it's a shame how Tyrion got shafted by his family. I mean, I understand, that if your family hates you, they're not really going to have your back. But man, it was nice. It was nice actually in the later seasons, him getting respect and from like Daenerys, at least until like season 7, when she started second guessing him and all that. But for a while, he was getting some good respect. He had a pretty good amount of respect when he was Hand of the King too. But he didn't get any credit for what he did for the battle of, I guess, Blackwater. Is that it? Maybe that's the name of this episode. Is it? Oh yeah, the Battle of Blackwater. Okay. Yeah, I mean he was like the reason that they won. I mean, I know his dad came through at the end and took all the credit. And they got the opening scene of the horse's ass taking a big old dump all over the King's Court. That was awesome. Nothing beats the time that I went to the circus when I was a kid, and we were like kind of near the front row, and had this huge elephant, like this big old elephant. His ass and tail were like maybe like 30 feet away from me, and he just took this big old piss, and I'm telling you, man, it looked like a garden, like a fire hose, just like emptied onto the floor, man. That was a lot of piss. I had no idea that they rained down thunder the way they did, man. That was like just crazy. Alright, so we're 328 miles, 327. Let's see how we're doing on fuel. It looks like we're still doing okay on fuel. To be honest, I don't even know if it's moved. It doesn't look like the fuel has moved at all. Maybe it doesn't move in this airplane. Maybe it's only like the Learjet and the Q400. No, I don't want to see hydraulics. I know the hydraulics are okay. Yeah, I mean, oh, it did move. It went from 2270 to 2260. Wow, the fuel actually did move. Like, it would be cool if you could push this terrain button and it says on. It would be cool if something would show up on the screen. Kind of like it shows up like in Microsoft Simulator. That is one thing I like about that. The PM DG737. It actually shows like the terrain, and you can change the color of it. And it's got real traffic built into it too, so any other planes on the map will show up. Like last night, the flight I did last night, it actually picked up a couple of airplanes on the radar, which was pretty cool. But it won't do real weather. In the Microsoft Simulator, the Diamond Air 40 and the Diamond Air 62, they both do real life weather radar on their displays, as long as you have live weather turned on. Drink, girl, drink. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Yeah, I could watch Game of Thrones all the time, Lord of the Ring movies, and the Hobbit movies. Like, if I was to have like 5 movies slash TV shows, like if I was on like a desert island and I could only have like 5 movies and 5 TV shows, not counting music, we're just talking about TV and movies, I would have Aliens, like the second Aliens, like the director's cut. I would probably have Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters. That movie is awesome. Game of Thrones, the Lord of the Rings, and the Hobbit movies. I'm going to combine them into one. And then for my last one, I would have to say it's probably got to be The Hateful Eight. That is like, The Hateful Eight is probably my all-time favorite movie. It's a slow movie, yes, but it is fucking awesome. I love every character in that movie. I know pretty much every line in that movie. The Hateful Eight is awesome. Alright, so we got 300 miles left. That didn't take too long. So we're about halfway to when we're going to start our descent. Unless I started early to keep it at the correct speed, because one thing I've noticed in the Aerofly is that during descent, these planes like really overspeed, like a lot. like the A380, every time I've just let it follow the map for descent, and that thing just overspeeds like crazy. Oh, if anybody watched my stream from last night, if anybody's watched that, at the very end when I turned the autopilot off, I do apologize that that beep 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 beep, like the sound was continuous. I did not realize that I needed to push the button on the yoke twice. So now that I've learned that, it probably won't happen again. I didn't know that I needed to push that. So I knew to push the button on the yoke to turn off the autopilot. Usually I just push like Y on the controller, or triangle on the PlayStation controller. If you push that button, that'll turn off the autopilot. I didn't realize that I should use the yoke and push the button on the yoke twice, and that will go ahead and I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. That'll stop the autopilot from the alarm from going off. So yeah, I had no idea. I read about it today. All right, so we're supposed to be landing at 2314, and it's 2208 right now. So I think we're gonna be okay, I guess. Let's check out our descent. Let's see how many miles we have until our descent. So we got 164 miles until the top of our descent, and we're about 284 away. So yeah, so that's about 120 miles. That's about what I said earlier, actually. It's a little bit less than I was anticipating. I might actually descend a little bit early, because I don't know if 120 miles is enough. That kind of makes me a little nervous. That's like right on the cusp of. And let's see here. Now I wrote a note down here at Otoyo. We need to be at 210 max, and they got us at 199, so that's good. Zitzel Center. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll be okay with this RNAV. There's no way for me to adjust the RNP in this plane. They decided not to model that for some reason. I guess they didn't want people having something too realistic. But yeah, I think we'll be okay on fuel. It looks like we'll be okay. Didn't the gross weight, like a few minutes ago, say 54,000? Maybe I'm going crazy, but I think that just increased. Why does it still say ignition? I thought I turned that off. Oh yeah, it's on normal. Alright, oh whatever. Whatever. 40 kilograms a minute for the fuel flow. I wonder if using the anti-ice like makes it like use more fuel. You know, like in a car, if you use the air conditioning and like the defrosters, how it uses more fuel. So I think, if I'm correct, I think this ETP is like, I think that's like halfway through the flight, I think. Ooh, can we read this? No. Why would they buffer that so we can read that? Who would want to read, you know, procedures? You know, like a checklist. Who would want to read a checklist? That's so crazy, Aerofly. You guys are so crazy. So crazy. Like, who would want to read that? Thanks for buffering it, guys. We appreciate it. You guys do such an amazing job every year with the simulator. I can't wait for next year to come out and be the exact same thing. We're going to charge you $20 next year for everything that's exactly the same, except maybe we'll have the new 737 by then. Maybe, if you're lucky. I guess I can program the METAR information for the landing, actually. Let me do while I'm thinking about it. So let's go to performance. Next phase. Okay, so the QNH there was 2986. 2986. actually, is that correct? I always get confused. Inches and hectopascals. I guess that. Actually, let me. No, I think it would probably be better to plug in. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, never mind. We can't change any of this anyways. Never. What was I thinking? Fucking Aerofly. Oops, sorry. Freaking Aerofly. Look at that. All right. So we're gonna do 318 for the radio. And it's 294 for the decision height. So I'm still not really sure which is the best way for RNAV. I've heard that using decision altitude. So decision altitude is the height based off of like from the ground, and decision height is from sea level. So baro is from sea level, radio is from the ground. So I've heard that it's better to use from the ground, but I've also heard that it's all about the barometer. So I think tonight I'm just going to leave the decision height on. I'm going to read more about that. I'm not really sure what's the best way to go. Full or configure 3. We'll do full. Alright, so let's go back to flight plan. That's a shame that you can't customize that either. So that's why, like I don't mind playing with the barometer during takeoff, but during landings, like I almost never touch it. I'll switch it back from standard to whatever the number is that that it's going to be, 1013 or 2992, I guess is what it is. But other than that, I never mess with it because it makes no sense. This simulator is not simulated to adjust the atmospheric pressure. So I've tried it before. Like I've tried increasing or decreasing the altitude, and like the plane doesn't compensate for it. So you'll either like get to the runway, to the touchdown zone like way early, or like you'll get to it at 50 feet too high because of because of the barometer. Oh, dogs in Sansa's room. One of my favorite episodes ever of Game of Thrones was when the Hound and Arya are like in the woods and they're scoping out this little inn. It's the one where she gets Needle back, and the Hound's like, I'll eat every chicken in here. And while they're sitting there in the woods, she's like, I recognize that guy. He killed Lami. And the Hound's like, what the fuck is a Lami? She's like, it's my friend. And he's like, oh, he's got my sword. Needle. And he's like, names your sword? And she's like, yeah, I caught it Needle. He's like, only cunts name their swords. The Hound has some of the best lines like in the whole show. I love his character. Alright, we are a little bit closer to our landing. I guess we're over Nevada at this point. I'm kind of scared to switch screens on my laptop because I did that before I started the stream when I was getting things ready, and a couple of times when I switched from OBS to my browser to look at Navigraph or look at something else, it turned off the connection of the iPad, doing the AirPlay. So, but yeah, I went to the Windows store on my laptop, and AirPlay is this free. I mean, you can pay for it. I don't know why you would, because I've been using it and it's been free. I don't know if there's a time limit to it or not, but it's this supposedly pay for, but it's been free so far, way to share the screen of my iPad. So I don't know if this works out pretty well and the sound's okay. Maybe I'll just stream flights from Aerofly instead of recording and editing and adding music and all that, because I kind of want to talk more during these, but like it's kind of tough to, like, it's easy to talk about stuff for me. For me, it's easy when I'm actually playing the game. But like in the past, when I would record this, I'd record it and then go to CapCut and start editing it, and then like talk over top of it, you know, in the intro and the outro and a little bit in the middle here and there. But it's like, I don't know, I can't like think of stuff. Like, it's hard for me to line up the words with the movement of what I'm doing in the plane. So, and I kind of don't have much to talk about, but I do when I'm streaming this. So I don't know, it's weird. Maybe I'm just weird. Maybe it's just me. What the fuck is a lobby? Alright. We can turn off this VOR since we don't need that anymore. And like in the A380 on these screens, I know these are different screens, but they have the, like down here you would have the airplane, and then when you're descending or going up, it would have the angle of attack and how your plane is. That was like, that's really nice to have when you're doing an RNAV landing. Like, you know, it would be nice if they could do something like that, but obviously they can't. They can't do it. They can't give us nice things. I guess we can turn off VOR too also, since our waypoint is right there. Now, I used to be able to, so with the controller, before the last update, now I'm very happy with the last update Aerofly did, because lights at nighttime now show up again on the runway, and the airport, like the outside lights, actually shine on the ground like it used to do. For years it did that. Then they did an update in January and it killed it for like 6 months. However, this latest update, when I hit the triangle button, so in the past, before this last update, I could go to a toggle switch, right? Like any of these or any of these toggle switches, I could put the cursor on it, hit the triangle button, and then move the right thumbstick forward or back to operate the toggle switch. Now when I hit triangle, it brings up like, it doesn't, I'm not going to do it during the flight, but it like does something really strange, and it doesn't allow me to operate these. It like brings up like some sort of like camera menu. It's weird. So I don't use that for toggle switches anymore because I can't. Because Aerofly didn't want me to do it anymore. They saw in the forums and they said, this guy Greg, he's a pain in the ass. We're not going to allow him to use the triangle button anymore so he can operate toggle switches. We're going to put the we're going to put the kibosh on that. We're not going to allow him to do that anymore. It'd be nice if this plane descended on its own, like Boeing's do with VNAV. Oh, let me go here. Let's see what it says here for descent. So we got 60 miles, so our first stop on the way down is 24.9. So let's set 24.9. Do the outer band counterclockwise, inner band counterclockwise, 24.9. No, I didn't get the frequency for SWR. Oh no, I should redo the whole flight because now I don't have the frequency. Man, maybe we should just do the whole flight over again since I messed up and I didn't get the code for that. Let's do the whole flight over again. But yeah, I think I'm gonna decline. I'm gonna probably go like 10 or 15 miles early, just to leave myself some. Probably, you know what? Probably 20 miles early. I think that's safe with this airplane. I just don't want to ride the. So I could go at the spot that it wants me to, but I don't want to have like I don't want to have the spoilers up like the whole way down. And most of the time, from what I've experienced with these airplanes and Aerofly, if you let it descend from the point that the FMC chooses, most of the time you have to ride the spoilers all the way. You got to leave them up like the whole way down, and I don't think that's very realistic. I've been in quite a few airplanes in my time, and I usually sit like where the wing is because I can't afford first class. And I do see the air brakes coming on often, but they only flap up for a couple of seconds and then go back down. I've never seen an airplane descend with the air brakes like active and up the whole time. Not I don't mean up like all the way, but even like halfway or a quarter way. Like they'll just flap a little bit here, and then I've never seen them like active the whole way down. Yeah, every airport that you see in Aerofly, there's always a livery that we can't have. Especially when you're in Europe, you got like EasyJet, Ryanair, got all these liveries that we'll never have. We will never have them. We have liveries for companies that do not exist anymore. Most of the Q400 liveries, they don't exist anymore. We have a bunch of liveries for the A380 that are nowhere close in the world to what we can do. You know, you got Qantas, I think is one, but then you also have like Malaysian Air. We can't. There's no Malaysian routes we can fly. It has Etihad. I think that's how you pronounce it. We're nowhere near the Middle East with what we can choose. Um, what's the really Emirates? Like, there's no, you know, we're nowhere close to the Middle East for that one either. I mean, like, give us all these liveries that we can't use. I mean, we can use them. You can obviously use them, but if you know you want to, if you're trying to be like realistic with like where the plane flies and the route that it flies, like a lot of these liveries, like either they don't exist anymore, or the part of the world that they operate from, we don't have access to. Maybe they got like a package deal, and they're like, oh, we'll give you all these liveries for $10,000, but they're going to be liveries of planes that don't exist, and liveries that don't exist anymore. All right, so that white arrow right there is the mark for descending. So when we get to about 20 miles from that, when we get to like around this band here, I'm probably going to start descending. Yeah, when this says about 20, that'll make me more comfortable. To start descending, we're going to click on this, and I believe you have to push it or pull it, but you can only really do one direction at a time with it. I forget if it's pushing or pulling, but there'll be a little dot that'll show up that says level change when you operate it. Tyrion, he's all fucked up. Oh man, Tyrion looks terrible. Terrible. Alright, so 22 away. 22. Alright, let's start our descent. That, and Okay, so we pull it. The engines are spooling back. Let's put on the seatbelt sign. And we're at about 2,100 feet per minute. Actually, what are we doing right now? That says 3,400 feet. We don't need to go that fast. Let's adjust it. Yeah, I mean, 2,000 feet is okay for now. I mean, I don't need to, like, rush down, but I certainly don't want to be using my air brakes the whole way down, so let's just leave it at 2,000 for now. That way it'll control our speed too, because certainly nosediving at 3,500, vertical feet per minute, or whatever that stands for. I should really know what that stands for too. Feet per second, feet per minute, whatever it is. But there's no way. See, like even now well, hopefully it'll start slowing down once this comes down to about 2,000. Hopefully this will come back in range, because I don't want to continue to overspeed. See, we're supposed to be at 24.9 by SWR, so let's actually adjust this some more. Adjust it a little bit more. This might not be realistic with descending this way, but in this simulator, this is the way that I've found to do it, to prevent this over here from getting up to like 320. Like, this is the only way I've found to really slow down the descent enough to where you're not overspeeding. So it might not be like how they do it in real life, but Aerofly doesn't really leave you a choice with this. So SWR, and one thing with RNAVs, you have to be extremely accurate with the altitudes and hitting them at the right spot with the right speeds as well. Now, if this speed adjusts and it goes up to like 300, like it shows on the FMC, I'm probably gonna do like a speed intervention and actually adjust the speed myself. Which I may wind up doing that towards the end anyways, but I don't want to do it unless I really have to. I never really figured out what that squiggly line meant. I don't think it's a deceleration point. I thought it had to do something with your speed, but it's kind of hard to look up this info sometimes with what those symbols. I know what the arrows mean, obviously, but like I don't think we're going to hit. You know, we might hit. Yeah, we're 15 miles away. We might get to the right altitude by the time we need to get there. Doesn't look like we are. Let me adjust this a little bit. Outside temperature is still -13, -36 Celsius. Okay, after 24.9 we need to be down to 14,000, so let's change this to 14,000. Well, I guess we were going to be at the right altitude. Interesting. Alright, well, let's change this back to 1,000 feet then. We'll leave, I guess we'll leave 1,200 and see what happens. Speed is okay. Yeah, I know it says 300. That worries me that it's going to click up to 300, so I'm going to keep an eye on the speed. Alright, we're doing okay. Alright, so by flunk, we need to be at 14,000, so let's keep an eye on, we're 36 miles away. Let's go down just a little, well, we got 1,200 in there, that might be okay. We'll give it a few more miles and see what happens. We'll give it a few more miles and see what happens. Ooh, look at all this green mountainous area. Green mountainous area. Guess this might be California now. I don't know. Truckee, Tahoe. Oh yeah, Tahoe. Okay, so I believe that's California. Tahoe. I know it's a nice ass truck. I know them Tahoes are nice. Nice ass trucks with them big old rims. Some big old deep dish spinners on them things. Where are my winglets? Where's my winglets? There they are, Aerofly. Okay, you got winglets. Okay. Alright. Relax. We got the winglets. Yep. Let's see if that holds correct. Let's see if this arrow moves any more closer to funk. We're gonna angle down probably to minus 1,500. Yep. All right. Let's move this down a little bit. Pulling up pretty close to flunk. Now I haven't landed a plane in Aerofly myself in a long time, so I hope I do okay. The last round of videos I did for each one of those airplanes I did, I pretty much let those planes land themselves, just to, just to try it out. So I hope that that it goes okay. Okay, so I know this dot here is a deceleration point. I know that much. That's where we need to adjust the speed. It's going to hopefully adjust down to 250 knots. All right, there's our first ring starting to show up. It's probably the 10-mile ring. I think once we get past this waypoint here, I'm gonna move the mileage down to 20, I think. More drag. Damn it. I was hoping to not really have to ride the brake, but I guess I have to. Alright, and let's put this... Well, no, we'll leave the speed alone for now. We'll leave the drag up. Let's put the landing gear down. Maybe that'll create enough drag. $97, $57, $90. So the reason I move these in increments like this is because that way it shows up on the map. It shows up on the display here where it approximately thinks I'm going to get to that altitude. So that comes in very handy when you have to be at certain spots and you're controlling it yourself. If this was like a Boeing and you were just letting VNAV pretty much do everything, then you really just have to monitor at that point and let the autopilot and all that take care of itself. Alright, so let's change this now to 1,200 feet. That way we can actually like slow down to 250 knots. Getting to that acceleration point, the decel point. Alright, there we go there. Now we should slow down a little bit more. So far, so good. change this to 1,000 feet a second. We got SOCAM. Yeah, that's 5790. That says plus 5,000. Okay, so we're at the deceleration point. We're at the correct speed. We're going to get the ZOCAM a little bit early with the altitude we need, but you know, air traffic control said that was perfectly fine because we're noobs, we're boomers, and we're noobs. Boy, I am so nervous about this landing. Let me tell you. Jeez. I don't know why I'm so nervous. It's just a simulator. I guess I don't want to mess up. I guess that's why I'm so nervous. Alright, let's do flaps 1. Oh shit. Wrong thing. I thought I was playing Microsoft for a second. I forgot which buttons did what. Oh, we can't. Okay. My fault, y'all. Wrong button. Boy, that's crazy that that little bit of adjustment with the throttle did that much. That's crazy. All right, well, let's just take this down to 500 because that's where we need to get to anyways. And let's do 1200. Let's do 1300. I've always found 1300 to be a pretty good medium between. All right, let's put on landing lights. We don't need anti-ice on anymore. And we are a little bit higher than we should be. A little bit higher and a little bit faster. hopefully we'll be okay. There's our landing zone right over there, I believe. Yeah, we might be okay, actually. We might be okay. I'll definitely have to do another one of these landings again, because RNAV with that 737 is really easy in Microsoft, but in Aerofly it's really difficult so far from what I've seen. It's been really difficult to do. I'm not complaining, just saying. Let's do flaps 2 and move this down to 182. Let's put our landing gear down to create a little bit more drag. Hey, we're pretty much right on point though. We need to be at 3120 at Zittel, and we're pretty much right there. That's good. .162. I don't know if I can do another flaps yet. Let's see. Oh, I can. I can go flaps 3. Okay. And let's do 143. Let's do our landing speed.
2,500.
142 actually. And let's put our flaps all the way down. Got our last turn. We need to be at 1100. And we're pretty much right where we need to be. This might work out okay, we'll see. See how this last turn goes. Yes, I know, traffic above only. Yes, I know. Alright, let's make this last turn. Alright, so we got there a few hundred feet early. It's not the end of the world. Hopefully this navigation system actually lines me up with the correct runway. That would be something, going through all this and then like it's like not lined up correctly. Alright, I think I see the right runway. So let's disengage the autopilot. And remember, like I said, I haven't landed I haven't landed manually in months with this simulator, so hopefully this goes okay. I see a couple of red. My eyes aren't that good, so I start seeing some white. Okay, that's good. More white. I don't want it to be too white. We need to get down a little bit.
400. 100 above.
Light slow.
300. Minimum. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30. Retard, 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 retard.
We did it. We did it. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We did it, guys. That's awesome. Awesome. That's about it for the stream tonight, by the way. That was awesome. I don't know if that was soft and buttery. I don't know if it was a touchdown, but we got there. And that's right. Anyways, whoever checks this video out, I certainly do appreciate you stopping by and checking it out. My name is Greg. I only play a pilot on the internet. In real life, I am nothing close to a pilot. Anything you would like to see me do with one of these simulators, send me a comment or a message, whether it's X-Plane, Aerofly, or Microsoft Flight Simulator, or Construction Simulator, or really any other simulator that's out there. I play them all. Anyways, that's about it for the show tonight. I certainly do appreciate everybody stopping by. This is your internet pilot, Greg, getting ready to sign off. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. Certainly be good to me by subscribing, leaving a thumbs up, leaving a comment, all that good stuff. Until we see each other again, above the friendly skies of Mother Earth, this is Greg signing off. See ya.